Hi, I'm Rev Myron, and today I'm going to be talking about A Course in Miracles, Lesson 268. Let all things be exactly as they are. Let me not be your critic, Lord, today and judge against you. Let me not attempt to interfere with your creation and distort it into sickly forms. Let me be willing to withdraw my wishes from its unity and thus to let it be as you created it. For thus will I be able to recognize myself as you created me. In love was I created, and in love will I remain forever. What can frighten me when I let all things be exactly as they are? Let not our sight be blasphemous today, nor let our ears attend to lying tongues. Only reality is free of pain. Only reality is free of loss. Only reality is wholly safe. And it is only this we seek today. So here's one way I'm practicing letting things be exactly as they are. First, I recognize that what I see is a reflection of the thoughts and beliefs in my mind. I remember that Jesus says this: it is because the thoughts you think appear as images that you do not recognize them as nothing. You think them, and so you think you see them. This is how your seeing was made. This is a function you've given your body's eyes. It is not seeing. It is image making. It takes a place of seeing, replacing vision with illusions. And that's from the workbook lesson 15. Very early on, he's telling us that it is our thoughts that make up the world that we see. He also says this: there are no idle thoughts. All thinking produces form at some level. He tells us this in chapter 2, section 6. These ideas, as well as others, along with the same lines that Jesus shares with us in the Course, explains that my thoughts matter very much. The thoughts that are not true can still make a whole world. So even though they make nothing real, what they make is real to the maker. And so they're not without power, as we're very aware. This is why I want to be careful about my thoughts, about the thoughts I think. I want to be careful of the form that they are producing. So here's an example of thoughts taking form. Jesus tells us in workbook lesson 187, the thought of sacrifice gives rise to all the forms of suffering, all the forms that suffering appears to take. So let me say that again. The thought of sacrifice gives rise to all the forms that suffering appears to take. So this is an example of a thought that I don't want to take form in my life. So for instance, today I'm going to my daughter's house to give her a break from my granddaughter. I'm happy to spend time with my granddaughter and happy to help my daughter. But actually I have some other things that I could be doing instead. This can lead to a feeling of sacrifice, so that instead of feeling good about the visit, I start to resent it. The effect will be that I don't enjoy myself, and so I suffer. The form will be one that symbolizes a belief in victimhood and the belief that I'm unfairly treated. It will also be that I have strengthened the belief in sacrifice and will produce more experiences of sacrifice and suffering in my life. But we could instead just let things be as they are. What I do when I notice these kinds of thoughts is to choose again. I very quickly choose to instruct my mind that I'm not interested in sacrifice. I'm not interested in suffering. I decide instead that I'm looking forward to this visit. I smile, and I let the truth of that just wash over me. I relax about the other things that I could be doing, things I thought I should be doing And I trust that all things will get done in perfect timing. In making this choice, I'm letting all things be as they are. I'm letting God's will that I be happy and peaceful be done. I'm not fighting him about this, insisting that sacrifice is real and unavoidable, that somehow the feeling of sacrifice is forced on me by others, and thus others can decide if I'm happy or not. I'm relaxing the personal will and letting it fall away in exchange for what my true will, which is one with the will of God. I can do this with all negative thoughts that I notice. It's easy, and it's worth the small effort it takes, both for me and for the sonship as a whole. So thank you so much for being here with me today, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.